Welcome to the Tom Sense Show right here on this busy Wednesday. We are on the air and rolling straight into the biggest stories across the country and the world. Remember, you can drop your questions into the YouTube chat at any point during the broadcast. If you have a sharp question worth answering, I will take it right in the middle of the news, but leave the nonsense at the door. Let us get straight to the facts. Down in Texas, the Democrats are already hitting the panic button. Democratic Senate nominee James Talarico ran to a court on Wednesday, demanding the public unsealing of two sworn depositions from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. These video recordings are from 2019 and 2022, involving a settled civil dispute over a mineral assets company named Unity Resources. Paxton worked as an attorney and sat on the board there years ago. Now, Talarico claims these old files show major ethical problems and breach attorney-client privilege, insisting voters must see them before November. Let us be completely honest about what is happening here. Ken Paxton just blew through the primary and knocked off incumbent Senator John Cornyn with massive grassroots support. The left thought they had an opening in Texas, and instead they ran into a conservative freight train. So what is the playbook when you cannot win an argument on the border, the economy, or the Constitution? You hire a team of lawyers and start digging through settled paperwork from half a decade ago to see if you can fish out an embarrassing soundbite. Paxton's campaign called it exactly what it is, a desperate stunt from a campaign running out of ideas. Democrats have spent 30 years trying to turn Texas blue, and every single cycle they end up begging a courtroom to do the campaigning for them. The United States military carried out a direct airstrike in the Caribbean Sea on Tuesday, destroying a vessel carrying suspected drug traffickers. 4 people on board were killed in international waters during the strike. This action is part of the expanded maritime campaign authorized by the Trump administration to shut down narcotics trafficking routes heading toward American communities. This latest strike brings the total number of deaths from boat interdictions to 227 since the directive took effect. Predictably, several human rights groups and international law professors are raising objections, questioning the rules of engagement and the use of lethal military force against civilian vessels on the open ocean. But the Pentagon made the position of the United States entirely clear. These are not recreational boaters out on a fishing trip. The cartels running these waters are heavily armed, transnational criminal enterprises that flood American neighborhoods with deadly poison every single day. For decades, Washington treated deadly drug corridors like a routine customs dispute, while thousands of families paid the ultimate price. Under this administration, foreign cartels moving narcotics toward our coastline are being treated as the direct national security threat they have always been. When you run high-speed smuggling operations in international waters against the United States, you no longer get a warning letter. America lost a true national treasure today. Dolly Parton has passed away at the age of 80 at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in Nashville, Tennessee, surrounded by her family after a brief battle with cancer. For over 60 years, Dolly stood as the undisputed queen of country music, writing legendary standards like Jolene and I Will Always Love You, and charting 25 #1 country hits. But her heart was always even bigger than her voice. Her imagination library gave away more than 300 million free books to young children around the globe. She poured millions of her own dollars into cutting-edge medical research and stepped up without hesitation whenever communities needed relief. Flags across several states, including Minnesota under Governor Tim Walz, are being lowered to half-staff, and tributes are pouring in from every corner of the political spectrum. Dolly had that rare, authentic warmth that could bring the entire country together at a time when almost nothing else does. She was unapologetically proud of her roots, proud of her faith, and deeply devoted to the everyday people who loved her music. You will never see another artist with that combination of talent, business, grit, and genuine decency. A great American voice has gone quiet, and she will be deeply missed by millions across this land. An update now on our northern neighbor, where Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is attempting to play economic hardball with the United States. Carney just rolled out a $7.5 billion Canadian dollar emergency bailout package to shield domestic industries from American tariffs. On top of that, Ottawa is threatening retaliatory tariffs on nearly 900 American products worth $20 billion starting on the 8th of September, following the collapse of bilateral talks. The Canadian government is trying to frame this as an essential defense of national sovereignty, warning that American buyers will feel the pinch on timber, paper, and pulp. But look at the math for 5 seconds. Canada's entire economic strategy here is taxing $20 billion of American goods, while spending billions of taxpayer money to cushion the blow of their own policy. If threatening your biggest customer with higher prices while handing your own companies a government allowance is a brilliant masterclass in economic sovereignty, then Mark Carney is running the most expensive trade experiment in history. The United States is the primary engine of the North American economy. When you rely on the American consumer to keep your factories running, pretending you can wage a trade war against your own largest customer without paying the bill is total fantasy. The latest now on our foreign policy posture in the Middle East. Secretary of State Marco Rubio informed foreign counterparts that the United States is temporarily pausing direct strikes against Iranian territory, turning the pressure dial toward a crushing secondary sanctions campaign. This comes as the United States Navy finished clearing mines from the main shipping lane in the Strait of Hormuz, with President Trump making it plain that any fresh attempt to mine the waters will trigger immediate military force. Meanwhile, Iranian and Omani diplomats claim they are making progress on a temporary commercial corridor. Over in Beijing, Chinese foreign ministry officials are throwing a fit, calling our secondary sanctions illegal and demanding protections for their oil trade with Tehran. Notice how China only discovers their deep love for international commercial freedom the exact moment their discounted Iranian energy supply gets cut off by Washington. President Trump and Marco Rubio have laid down a very simple perimeter. The United States cleared the shipping lane, established total naval control, and closed the financial net. If the regime in Tehran wants to test American resolve again, they already know the airstrikes are not an idle threat. Strength dictates the terms, and the world is seeing America lead from the front once again. That is the news this hour. Thank you for watching and bringing your questions. We will be right back with more on The Tom Sense Show.